go to it. I guess because we never have a conversation where it could come in handy, but it might now.
I hit record.
Okay.
I use it constantly at work. Or not like constantly. But,
do you work with a crew of people? Or are you just by yourself all the time?
Depends on the day.
Okay.
Mostly I've been working with my friend. He's been off, and so we've been around together. Like I've been helping him do some framing. So
he hears the big huzzah.
Yeah,
he hears the big huzzah word.
Yeah.
So I think the show has started, hasn't it?
Yes, it is hit. I hit record. But we don't necessarily have to. Huzzah! We don't necessarily have to keep that part, but what the hell? We'll keep it in there. Welcome to the Rita and Ryan Podcast.
Welcome. Huzzah. We were just talking before that Ryan hit the record button about words that he just loves. And huzzah is one of them. And I said, I've never heard you say it before. And now we've known. And you also do a positive fist pump.
Huzzah! You have to.
It goes with the word. So
it goes with the word. Huzzah!
My word was hideous. I think the word hideous is hysterical, and it could be used in so many great ways. But Ryan once again has taught me with the word, because huzzah is much more creative than hideous. But
and
different strokes for different folks.
Strokes. Yeah, there
you go.
I find huzzah funny and absurd. Yep. It just makes me laugh. Just the thought of it. Why not put a smile on your day? Speaking
of absurd, welcome to the 12th show of the Rita and Ryan Podcast. Today is July 5th, the day after July 4th, which is 245 years of independence for the United States of America.
I wasn't sure where you were going with that. I was like, wait, where is it? Yeah,
I think it's a huzzah thing. I mean, come on.
Huzzah.
So
it's not a long time in the scope of the history of the world, but it is.
Right. Interesting thing how we have holiday work days. So if 4th of July falls on a Thursday, you get Friday off. Then you get a 4-day weekend for most people who work Monday through Friday. But if it falls on a Sunday, you just get Monday off. So I wonder if people schedule their vacations on the big, because if it's on a Wednesday, you're not going to get Thursday and Friday pay. Because a lot of companies will pay.
Of course. When I
when you
years
had a job?
ago, when I had a job, I saved up my vacation and sick days all towards the end of the year, and I think I ended up what felt like having like a month off straight, where you just like move it in around holidays and to where it you can if you save your vacation days when you get them,
especially
and manipulate them correctly, you can have a good chunk of time off from work.
Yeah. I don't like doing big stints at a time, because then you have to wait 11 months to get your next thing. I like doing Mondays and Fridays. So you have 4-day weeks. So like once a month you have a 4-day weekend. But anyway, yes. So that was what I was thinking of. All the people who usually get a 4-day weekend, they only got a 3-day weekend unless they took their personal time off or a vacation day. But happy America to them as well.
Yep. Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. But it is interesting because that's exactly what I thought of when I'm going 245 years since 1776. That's not that long ago.
No.
Because just considering, I mean, if you look at really the reference frame, like I've said before, my dad's 86. So
right.
So it's like he's almost 100 years old and 245. So it's like it's pretty amazing. It's still very new.
Yeah.
We're still bright and shiny.
We are still very young, and yet,
So Ryan, completely different subject, but still in America.
mhm.
Would you move back to Kentucky
uh,
willingly?
no.
Willingly.
Uh, it would have to be for an exorbitant amount of money.
So, but is it just because that for your talent, there's really nothing there for you?
I just don't like living
Or
there.
okay,
Like, I don't like the weather. It's
it's becoming a bit of a hotspot for people to move to from metropolitan cities.
really.
Yeah,
Huh.
I mean, it's not like high on the list, but the fact that it was on the list, I thought it
Yeah,
was interesting.
I
But
it
what are
would
the fancy places like Bowling Green and Louisville?
there's Louisville.
Yeah, Bowling
Um,
Green isn't.
it is ish. There's a lot of money, but it's not
Yeah,
as
that's what I
big.
mean.
Like
Well, I think that's what people are looking for,
yeah.
right? More because it just in terms of
It's a weird place to party.
is
Yeah,
okay.
it's yeah, a friend of mine that lives out
Urban
here.
state.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a pretty fun place to party. So
Now they're growing lots and lots of marijuana.
I had recently started hearing that they were moving towards that,
Yeah.
which is weird because I don't. I'm not even. I think only like CBD is really allowed,
I think
like
they're trying to
medically.
work, yeah, through the state legislation,
And
but a lot of the
so
tobacco companies want to start
I'm
planting
not
and
for
growing it.
sure how that works. Like, I know they have been growing some of it more, some hemp more recently because my dad was talking about that several months
So,
back.
so Kentucky
Which
would be a
that
state that marijuana is still illegal in.
mostly, yeah. I think except for some medical.
So there's still a weed guy in Kentucky.
Yeah.
Talk to my friends, if you're from California or Arizona, different states, they all go, pour one out for the weed guy who works so hard. And it's like
It,
capitalism wins again. It's like, can you imagine? It's like all the risks they took. And I say weed guy because I'm sure there were weed gals, but it seemed the stereotype was more guys. But yes, I
oh
always think
yeah,
of
yeah.
them.
There are plenty of weed gals. The
Yeah.
they
Oh, do tell, Ryan. Do tell.
no, I mean it's just there are plenty of women that sell pot.
Okay, so newsflash, 12th show. I do not have a list of topics
Ah,
purposely.
okay, that's
So I
cool.
hope you brought yours.
I mean, I don't know. There's all kinds of things we can talk about. Uh, sad news. We can do that. Richard Donner passed away today.
No, I saw that.
Yeah.
Really sad news.
Goonies is probably one of my favorite childhood
It's a gr-
movies.
it's
Like,
a great movie.
probably that's my favorite Richard Donner movie. Like, I've definitely seen it the most out of anything. I mean, in Superman.
Yeah, it's really amazing. I will say at 91, that's a
Yeah,
pretty good number. That's a pretty good number.
he had a
Great,
that's a good
right.
number to get to.
Good number to get to.
And he accomplished some really cool shit. Like it's
Right.
yeah, um
So yeah,
yeah,
that's a cool thing. That's it. And I told you, but I think I mentioned on the show a couple weeks ago on Father's Day about my dad being sick.
right.
And so um update, I think where we left it was he was waiting for results for the cancer scan or something like that. Well, so he does have lung cancer. It's the non-aggressive type,
Okay.
but he also has heart failure. And the two aren't compatible in terms of treatment. And he's still 86 years old. He's no one's getting any younger. And the quagmire right now, he's got a great team of people, the cardiologist, oncologist, and a pulmonologist. The quagmire is both things could be, well, they said the slow growing non-aggressive lung cancer could have been there for a very long time
Hmm.
because there's no reason to scan your lungs. And if your heart, you go for yearly checkups. So, because usually if they see it for the very first time, it could be a 5 to 10 year, very slow, non-metastasizing. That's what they mean. It usually doesn't go to other parts of the body. But the heart can't have treatment on it, such as going through the veins he's got a enclosed aorta. So the heart is actually not getting enough blood to it. So bit of a quagmire. They say they can attach to a little bit of age, but they don't know the timeline. So it's just an odd moment to be in, to go, you're older. You've got these two different strikes against you that we don't know how long it's been. And you could be at the beginning of it or at the end of it. So, but Dad's happy as a clam, he's slowed down considerably, of course, but I just trying to go up for a couple days as often as I can. And so it's kind of a bittersweet news. I'm still glad, but it's just a very weird place to be. So as long as he's happy and doesn't hurt, and he likes to, he's the guy he wants to know. If there's nothing you can do, there's nothing you can do. It's not going to change anything. He just wants to know. So all these little bits, good, it's not aggressive, but just it's like all these non-answers. It's like, well, we just don't know. But the cardiologist says, can't do any procedures unless that cancer is cleared for a year. The oncologist said, the guy's 86. He's got heart failure and lung cancer.
Wow.
Right. So that sounds really drastic and terrible. I'm just living for the moment, happy. He was thrilled to see me.
Right.
And so that's a good thing. So not sad news, but.
That's you. So you guys spent 4th of July together?
Yes, we spent.
What?
Yeah, because I went early because he lives in Nevada. It's about a 4-hour drive. Mm-hmm. So I left early Saturday morning, came back early this morning, spent 2 full days having fun, and just, having fun with 86-year-old is him just treating me like I'm a kid. What you gonna do about that? How'd the car drive? All that fun stuff. So I loved it. And I said, I call him old man. Like, oh man, you don't do anything. I said, this is like a vacation for me. We just sit here and visit, go play cards, we go back and visit. And then he watched the baseball game. It's just funny. But I feel good about hanging out.
Which game?
Last night it was the Giants in Arizona.
Okay. My mom's a huge Cardinals fan, so that's I was kind of curious. I don't keep up with sports anymore, but I do like baseball. If I were to keep up with anything, it'd be the Cincinnati Reds. So that was the last sports team I was like really into. That's why I was asked, because I still kind of I didn't realize it was baseball season. I hadn't been paying attention, so I'm always like, oh, cool.
Well, the Giants are number 1 position. The A's are up there.
Okay.
Well, I found out.
I love going to minor league games. I don't know if you ever heard any.
Super fun.
Minor league games are the best to go to for live.
They don't
baseball.
have them here. They have one down south. They don't have a camp here. A AAA here. Mm-hmm. A lot of them are in the South and Midwest.
Speaking of Kentucky, Louisville actually has a really good, a really fun minor league team.
I talk about Kentucky because of all the states. Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt, but of all the states I have visited, I was there for like a 2-day turnaround, which is you fly in, you go to a conference, you get up and you take a flight back home. So it's airport, hotel, back to airport. But I really want to go and see the state. So what would you suggest?
It's
not as a tourist, as a,
as a, it's a really pretty state. I mean, I would go maybe early fall,
Do they have a change of season?
Yeah. It's really pretty. The weather's nice. It's before, because it does get kind of cold there. So before
like end of September, early October, is that their color change? Do you think, or more? Okay.
Go check out Louisville because it's a fun city. Like it really is a fun city. Very. I think you would probably like it.
Yeah.
You would have there's some fun bourbon trails to go on there because
Cool.
there's a lot of bourbon distilleries and stuff like that.
Kentucky has bourbon. I did not know that.
That's what they're known for.
Really?
Yeah.
I had no
I don't
idea.
know. Are you being sarcastic?
They don't
or-
have a big horse race every year too, do they?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't
There's
know that. That just came to me.
took me a second. Wait, you're being so the the bourbon. I would definitely try to go down towards like Bowling Green, like Central Kentucky area.
Could I go and visit your parents
Yeah, sure.
and call your mom? Go take her out to lunch.
Yeah, yeah. She'd have fun.
I want to
She'd
talk
enjoy
about the cow milking.
Okay,
Oh, no, your dad could
Yeah.
come too. We'd have a blast.
talk
They-
to him
I
about
would say-
airplanes. He likes
Does he-
airplanes.
Oh, because he flies them.
Yeah, that's his hobby.
Yeah. No, because I'll say
He
your parents.
he stays healthy just so he can fly airplanes.
That's great though.
Yeah, gives because they're 76, so they're putting in some time.
1776.
Yeah, 1770.
Your parents are part of the independence
hmm
symbol. Are they both the same age? Same. They're both 76.
Yeah.
Were they college sweethearts or young person sweethearts?
Yeah,
They met young and they got married and they did all the things you're supposed to do
right.
76 years ago.
Yes,
That's
Yep.
cool.
basically.
Then they had millions of children and only 3 stayed.
Right.
Yes, that's how it breaks down.
Exactly.
So we talked about sadness. We talked about my dad. We talked about your parents. What's next on the list, Mr. Ryan?
Yeah. How do you feel about fireworks?
I think fireworks are cool. They're they were prohibited in Nevada and prohibited in California. So I thought it was kind of sad because, of course, people who get the illegal ones are shooting them off.
That's
So
kind of what I was
it's kind of like a
asking.
Womp, womp.
So
you go,
you
"Here's
guys didn't see
one."
any you guys didn't see any fireworks over the weekend?
Just out the window, or you'd hear the big, cherry bomb booms,
Okay,
and
but
then
you all
or
didn't,
you'd hear.
you all
no.
didn't watch
No, we didn't.
fireworks
No, we
show
didn't
or-
go. No.
Okay.
Mm-mm. Yeah.
Okay.
It's weird
yeah,
watching it on TV, but every year out here where I live there are 2 different places in the valley that you could do it. And so people would strategically park throughout the town, like at the highest point they could. And then the local radio station would play all the music. And so it'd be a big outing. We did that for years and years and years, but they canceled both sides just because we're in a drought and, we have fires.
Right.
Even though I will tell you, California and this area has been dry and in a drought my whole life. But I think they're still smarting from the last 2 years of terrible fires.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I can we can get an environmental scientist on if you ever want to
I know you already interviewed him
yeah, but there's more environmental science to talk.
for the Rita and Ryan show.
Yeah, yeah.
Well,
So I was gonna say if you ever want to talk to him, we can.
You're gonna have to wear a business suit.
Nah. if Danny wears one,
That would be fine.
Happen.
Well, speaking of guests, we're gonna start having guests soon.
Yes, we are. We are. The clock is ticking down to.
Clock is ticking down.
to officially having guests on. We are right on the cusp
And-
of being prepared.
Ryan started a Facebook account and a YouTube account.
Yep. We have a bunch of followers on Facebook.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Did I follow? Because I know
No. I'm the only person following us on YouTube also.
No, I am now because I found out this morning. Listen, folks, I am the person who is the least social media, but I'm working on it. And that's why we
Yeah.
brought it up last week or 2 weeks ago.
Right.
We're working on it because
we'll get better.
it's a joke of saying, why don't more people know that we're here? And it's because, of course, we're on a social media platform that we're not promoting. But I looked this morning going, oh, I saw the Twitter that the show, Ryan posted the show. So, but I went to trash can conductor and went, oh, the show's not there. And then I remembered, oh, he posted it on a new
Channel.
YouTube channel. So I have to go back there. And then I realized, oh my goodness, I'm not subscribed to the channel. But I am now, which is
Awesome.
great.
2 subscribers.
We have 2 subscribers. But then I am not a Facebook fan, but I am now on Facebook, which, Ryan, we won't have to go through what I did to get on Facebook.
Okay. Maybe we should.
Between ourselves. Oh, no.
Maybe we should.
Because here's the deal.
Maybe that's the hot story.
Yeah, no, it's not.
No.
Save it for the book. Save it for the book.
Facebook
is not that user friendly, and I'm not.
No, it's kind of weird.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
And so, because once you have your name and your phone number in, then you do a page. So I thought, okay, I've got personal site, and then I can do a page for the small business podcast. But when you do a small business podcast, it starts giving, oh, you have the word business in it, so this must be a business account. So it really won't let me go forward without filling out all of this business stuff.
Yeah.
So, but then I tried from the small business to find Ryan and then Chef Jenny Fox, which it wouldn't let me invite because it was a page. So I went back. I had to go back to my personal account. And newsflash, the big reason why I'm not a Facebook fan is because about 12, 13 years ago, I was on it for like 2 minutes, but it took 2 minutes for everybody that I friended, and especially family members, I didn't fill anything in of, what are you having to eat today? Everyone seemed to be taking pictures of their food, or I'm going to the laundromat. It's like that. I wasn't going to be that detailed. I just don't do that. I don't tell the world, I'm going to the grocery store now and here's my grocery list. So what started happening was I would say to a family member, oh yeah, I'm going to be traveling here, or for work, I'm going there. And then a day later, I get a call from someone to say, hey, I thought it was on Facebook. Your brother or your sister put it on Facebook that you're going to be here, and you didn't call to say, let's get together. Sometimes on a business trip, you don't have time. Just seriously, because like I said, companies save money by saying, fly out of San Francisco at 6 a.m., arrive to your meeting at noon, meet all day until 10 o'clock at night, get up the next morning and come home.
Yeah, they were overstepping. They were overstepping a little.
So I think that's a little creepy. So I canceled the account, but then for work, a couple of years later, they said, we want you to have a page that has the work on it.
Yeah.
But once you type in your name, it brings up your original account. So now if you type in my name, you're going to see an old job that I had, and you might find me. So it's just too much, but I'm persevering.
Yeah,
Ryan,
you continue with that account. Just delete a lot of the information, unfriend everybody.
Yeah, the work one just doesn't have any posts or anything on it. The original one doesn't have anything. So now I'm in. Now I just need to build it.
Yeah, build out your personal account to add, because that's kind of how because all the people that like the Facebook page are all from my Facebook friends stuff that I sent. The
only thing that's creepy is that but attached to my name because of work.
Yeah, I think, and there's a way you can. I don't know.
Can you
there's
remove
a way you
people?
Can,
so how they give you that list
you can unfriend people.
I haven't friended anybody. I think I friended you. Did I friend you? I don't know.
Yes.
I have to look. But okay,
is that your old? Did you friend me with your old account?
I think so, because I keep getting an update. Every time you post something, I get an email that says Ryan did something.
Okay. Yeah.
I get a notification. Because my small business podcast doesn't talk to me yet. But
yeah, because I post all the different podcasts and like the cartoon, like I repost all that type stuff randomly throughout the week.
But now that we're talking about Facebook, why don't we talk about Zuckerberg on his motorboard with the American flag yesterday? Did you see that on social media?
I didn't see that. Do tell.
So there's a video that he posted or someone posted of him on one of these they look like a hoverboard. I don't know exactly how it works, but it looks like a skateboard, but it's over the water, and you see this kind of like little, um, I don't know. This it looks like it's on a stick. I don't know exactly how it works. Are you looking it up?
Yep. It's
And it's a
Zuckerberg
can you see what?
on.
Okay, yeah. So he's doing it and for a very long time. So the guy's got good balance, and it's he's holding a huge American flag with music. Can you
Yeah, I
see
just
it?
saw it.
So
Yeah.
what is that he's
What the
riding?
fuck?
I call it a hoverboard, like from Back to the Future, because that's kind of what it looks like. But you can see underneath it, it looks like almost like a rudder, and I don't know if it's remote control, somebody's controlling it.
it. While riding, it says while riding an electric surfboard across the lake.
The electric surfboard. Okay, so
So yeah, yeah, right. Okay, he posted it to Instagram. Yeah, riding and that is ridiculous.
so people, yeah, the internet kind of went. I only knew it because it came up on some notification yesterday, and I looked at it. I mean, I rolled my eyes, going, "This guy, anybody can do whatever they want." But I think that just because we're living such a judgy Judgerson time that I don't know. I guess because there's all this rhetoric about people who don't like America or they think America needs to improve so much, and that the
Mhm.
American flag stands for not great America. So when you see
Yeah,
somebody, because who cares? I mean,
there's I haven't looked into the story because I don't really care anymore.
yeah.
But Captain America in the comic books apparently hates America now.
Seriously,
Yeah.
or is that just is that just an interpretation, or they're the
No,
new
it's
writers?
like talking about, yeah, it's the yeah, I haven't read comic books in a while.
Yeah.
Like the stories just aren't great lately. But yeah, apparently yeah, the new one, Captain America, is, all mopey about the American dream or something like that. And I mean, also, I don't know if it's just the anti SJW movement people. You know how they like to get angry about Star Wars and
Are they the SJ or the anti SJ?
the anti ones, like the ones that complain about a lot of the gender swapping and like there's that group. They like to complain about that type of stuff. So,
Okay. I
so if that
okay.
if that makes sense. So I don't know if it's really just them like trying to get clicks, or I didn't look
Doesn't it?
into it
Yeah,
too
because I'm
much.
starting
But
to think. Yeah, it's like
but
there's this
apparently
whole
Captain
yeah.
America hates America. Since we're on the topic of hating America.
So it's really going to be interesting, and this is my theory, for what it's worth, because the one word that keeps coming up for me, kind of in my life and in my thoughts, is the word nostalgia, and it happens in
Yeah,
every
you do like
generation,
nostalgia a
right?
lot.
I like nostalgia a lot,
Do
but
you like the word
is
nostalgia? Speaking of liking words,
I do like the word nostalgia. I mean, it's not as good as hideous, but
hideous
it's the
nostalgia.
oh, it's hideous,
Hideous
but
nostalgia. That sounds like a clone, like a,
a good
fragrance
title.
by Estee Lauder.
No, but you
Hideous
know what?
nostalgia.
I know, but it could be something I claim,
Could be.
right? So if everything I do is
Your
themed with nostalgia, I could my book, I could call it hideously nostalgic. Never know.
could
This
be.
is a recording. So the thing is that every generation looks back and says, it was better when we were younger.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that it was, but each time, because as we grow as a culture, as we evolve, because we're always adapting to our evolution as a society, because that's
Mhm.
what we're seeing. And so I I come from a place of going, I'm observing what's happening, I see what's happening, and yet what I get disconnected from is the world in which I inhabit, which, and this is nostalgic, I actually talk to people face to face. I don't just, my world is not on the computer.
Right.
Right. So when I say things like the world that I live in, people aren't screaming and yelling and burning flags and saying everything is terrible. And I think, and I live in a very metropolitan, the Bay Area, California is about as homogenous as you can get,
Yeah.
all different cultures, right? So, and of course, Los Angeles, the whole state pretty much. So to say, when I look out my front door, when I go to the next city, when I travel all through California for work, I don't see the world that's always being portrayed by the loudest people online. And so sometimes I think, is it just disgruntled people who get paid money just to pick apart what's going on? Or because I think really if people wanted to solve things, they talk about what was truly happening. Because there are injustices every day. There are injustices every day. There
Yep.
are laws in place that are terrible. But that's, but you have to have remove some of the emotion and talk about the boring part of our legal system. But just to stand on a pulpit and
And
scream,
actually get involved with local politics more.
that's the most important part. I always say that is that because you get your absentee ballot and I would bet a lot of money. The majority of people do not recognize most of the names on that ballot.
Right.
And they're voting for court, judges. They're voting for school boards. They're voting for, city council members.
The people that
they're voting
actually
for sheriffs. Enforce the rules.
The people that
and
actually make
the
a
rules
difference.
right in your world. And so
yeah,
really interesting.
Instead of
why are all these people in California worried about what Texas is doing?
Yeah.
Why are all these people? So it's a really interesting. But going back.
Or why are the people in California trying to make the people in Texas live like the people in California?
Well, I can see now. Austin is a different place. Austin is kind of a little bit of a.
Well, I just use Texas because it was the
Yeah.
last thing, but I mean, you can put in
Right.
Alabama or because it seems like New York and LA are trying to make the rules for everyone.
It could seem like that. I mean, what they keep saying, which I think is just kind of a cheap shot, is like, don't bring your politics here, right? Don't bring your politics from crazy California. But if people really look at what's happening, you should actually go and look at your states and your counties and your
Politics
cities.
here are not, like I'm.
No, but look, because the if you've got 40 million,
I got my eyes on Florida.
Right. But honestly, the distaste with our governments all the way up the board and the lack of voting, because to have so many people and they used to say it's like politicians make out on the fact that people just say it's not worth it. And so I also, this is a very cynical conspiratorial thought. I thought, do they misbehave so much and act ridiculous because some people just go, forget it. But I think that the last 30 years,
I think it's
politics,
that personality type that seeks a position of power.
No, I'm saying that the regular person voting, because if we had, because this is the nostalgia part, this is what I see in areas that were super, super, like my little town when I grew up was super, it was middle class, tons of kids. The schools were superstar schools. Then what happens is the cost of living starts to go up, the housing goes up, and those kids grow up and move out. Then they can't move back in. So it becomes, I forgot what they call it, when it's young people can't afford to raise their children here. So school system goes down because there's not there's not a ton of working families with children. And so what happens is you've got all these, again, I forgot the name of it. It's not a bedroom community. Maybe that's what it is. No, I don't think that's the term. But what happens is that even the citizens, once you raised your kids, those citizens should be, for your next generation, to say, I should be involved in seeing who's the school supervisor too, even though my kids are up and grown. But that's we, that's what's unfortunate, because I think that comes down to that kind of we've had all these different generations of me generation, and I'm going to take care of myself and my family and just move on. And so I'm just saying, give us hippies, old hippies, a chance. Help out everybody. Look at because that's where things can change, because the collective cities, counties make a difference as to who goes to Washington for the state. Right. But
they should do something about the fireworks.
Why?
Speaking of fireworks,
they shouldn't cancel the fireworks.
Oh man, out here,
Mm-hmm.
it's the time of year where people just light them off like all night.
I saw a thing. Somebody did a panoramic view of Denver last night, and it was just gorgeous.
Oh no, for like the next month around 11, 12 o'clock at night, they're going. I mean, and you hear them like pop up every now and then.
Right.
You know, at least I'll hear at least one a night go off,
right.
But you hear a lot of them, and like I think someone next door is actually.
Are you complaining about it?
Oh yeah,
because you're an old man, or?
Yeah, I want to go to bed.
Oh jeez!
Stop shooting your fireworks off at 11 at night.
Get off my lawn. Get a haircut.
Shoot your fireworks off earlier. Get them
7
done.
o'clock.
Get them done by 9. Shoot your fireworks by 9. I want to go to bed.
Why don't you just close your window? You can still hear it.
Yeah, I hear it. You hear it.
Put your headset on.
Put
your noise canceling microphone on.
Yeah. If I owned one of those.
So Ryan, how are we going to be famous? What's it going to take?
Well,
do something different. No, we have to have freaking guests. Excuse my language. And we have to have call in.
We have to get people watching.
Up the first
we have to get people. We have to get people watching before we start doing call-in stuff.
No, I have 10 people that I've already lined up that's going to be calling in. It's like you have to call in and ask Ryan a question.
All right. As long as they're watching.
Well, they have to be watching to call in, don't they?
Yeah.
All right. Well, but little baby steps. First, we have, but the good news is you have us on Facebook and you have us on YouTube.
Yep.
I have us on Twitter, and I need to update because I think I need to retweet.
And I've posted a few times on
Twitter account,
Facebook.
Okay, so pretty much Ryan's taking care of everything, and I've just pretty much shown up. But I did get my very own Facebook account, and I did follow Ryan.
Nice. And so now we need to get your contacts all watching the Rita and Ryan podcast.
I don't have any friends, Ryan.
I'm sure you
do. I have no friends. That's it.
That's it.
Well, Chef Jenny Fox of the Indianapolis, Indiana area, which is right next to Kentucky.
It is. It is very close to Kentucky. It's.
I want to. Well, I've been to Indiana a few times. So now Jenny's. Well, I'm not going to say that, but she may not be living in Indiana forever. She wants to eventually move someday. But I was hoping she'd move to a state that I hadn't visited, but she's not. So.
What state haven't you visited?
Mississippi.
Okay. I think I've driven through.
Maine. I've never had an occasion to be in Maine.
I've not been to Maine.
Vermont. I think those are the 3.
I've been pretty much everywhere but the New England states. So I've been everywhere sort of south and east or south and west of
Idaho. You've been to Idaho?
Yep.
Montana.
Yep.
Wyoming.
I believe so. I've driven around the state, so
you just can't just go across because yes, I agree.
That's why it's I've been through
beautiful country, right?
Yeah,
beautiful country.
it's super
Because
cool.
if we do
When
a
I
road
went
trip,
on tour
sorry.
for music, we did a big loop. Started out in Nashville, up to Wisconsin, over to Washington, Oregon, down to L.A., and then over. Played through Oklahoma, and then came back over to Tennessee. And so we hit damn near every state.
That's
Like
awesome.
on there, and it was super
Like,
fun. Toured
would you
a lot of
say
the South at random times too, Alabama,
would? Mhm.
and
Well,
stuff like that.
I want to go to Mississippi for the music,
Mississippi. I don't remember much about there,
the
but
blues.
oh well, no, I've been through
Oh, right.
played in some of the northern part, like
Yeah.
I think,
But I want to do
but
that
yeah,
I want to do that as a that's kind of my dream is just to not do the senior citizen get a motorhome and drive through, but I do want to like take blocks of time and not be just a working thing. Go in, this is not these people I know, so I'm going to come visit you, or and then go see different states because it
yeah.
wouldn't. I
I
mean,
wouldn't mind doing another music tour again.
should we do a music tour for the Rita and
The
Ryan show?
No,
Because I'm thinking
I
if
don't know
we
about
go
that.
starting, we
The
meet me in Northern California, we go up the state, through
or
Nevada, go
stand
through
up.
Idaho, or stand up.
Yeah, I've done it once, but I've been wanting to try again, but everything's been shut down, so can't exactly find open mics, or haven't been able to find open mics for a while.
Have you done stand up in Idaho,
No, I've only done
Montana?
stand up in Los Angeles.
See, because I'm thinking if we could do a combo, because if I'm nothing at all, I'm hideously efficient. But we combine the road trip into your stand up routine
Yeah, we can
and your stand up shows.
bring John along, and we can do a
Well, now
religious
it's a
detox
big
tour.
production. If it's the Rita and Ryan show doing a road trip, then your musician friend partner, now you're doing concerts, and what am I going to
Yeah,
promote? At
you can do
concerts and
business
stand up.
talks. We can
Oh,
book you.
great.
We can book
At
you
the
for.
comedy clubs.
We can
That'll
book
be
you for
good.
business talks in all the cities. You'll be the one making the real money doing the business talks. Doing the
I could do a whole half hour stand up on the road trip with you and John, and how this whole road trip is getting sidelined. We want to see America. We don't want to just see Ryan. What if you're really good though and you become famous by your stand up? I will take credit for all of it.
of course you would.
I can be your manager. I will be your stand up manager, and you will be my business manager. Ryan, I would pay money. I just had a brilliant idea. I think it's the most brilliant idea. And we will tape it, but we will not post it if people don't like it. But these me and I will be honest. If it's not funny, I won't laugh.
Well, that's part of doing stand up is testing it out.
Bombing.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, are you situational funny, or are you just tell a story like Stephen Wright, like little short vignettes or little short sentences that are hysterical? Or are you more like Seinfeld, like, what about pizza?
It's kind of storytelling.
Yeah.
Exaggerated stories from my life. I have a few observational jokes.
Will you be wearing your trash can conductor t-shirts?
Probably.
Will you be selling merch at these events?
Definitely. definitely.
Could I please be the one at the table selling your t-shirts?
Oh yeah.
While you're on stage.
Of course.
And I want a film crew.
Definitely.
This is how we get famous.
I want a film crew also.
Because yes,
gotta pay for that Mercedes Sprinter van somehow.
Is that what you have?
No, that's not what I have, but that's what.
Is that what we need for our road trip?
It's that or nothing. one of those
Really?
big ass Sprinter vans. Yeah, it's got
I
to
don't
be
even know what
nice.
that is. Is that the
Those,
ones that have all this like stuff in it
yeah.
for music and stuff?
Well, you can. They're just huge vans that you can sort of build out to do whatever you need, like for bunking. You can build in a studio.
So you're planning on living in the van?
The
Okay.
no, just make it
Comfortable. So
comfortable
while
for
I'm
business.
driving, you and John can be in the back
No,
taking a snooze.
we'll hire a driver.
How much money do you have?
All of it.
Good. I have all of it too. Oh my God, that's so funny.
All of it.
Ryan, we have had a non-topic topic show,
Hmm.
and you did really well. I just want to say, have we filled up an hour?
Close.
What would that mean? What does that mean?
45 minutes.
We have 15 minutes. Well, we could end
Yeah.
the show early tonight because
The
it is the Independence of America.
the
Salute.
Independence America. Now we'll prattle on for another 15 minutes. I about
So,
things.
Ryan,
I've been watching the He-Man drama. I don't
I don't know what that is.
He-Man Masters of the Universe. The you remember the He-Man cartoon? I know you
From
weren't from the 80s. Like it was what my generation played with and talked
Yeah,
and
there's a 10-year difference here.
yeah.
So
I didn't
is the He-Man kind of like the Incredible Hulk?
kind
Like a
sort
knock'em
of
sock'em robot?
sort of Prince Adam has the power sword and
So
turns into
what?
He-Man.
So is it a meme thing that's happening?
No,
Or is
no,
He-Man
they're
coming back?
redoing He-Man and
Does he like America?
no, America doesn't exist in He-Man.
Okay.
And they're making the
So obviously it was before 1776.
yeah, it's a lot of people are mad about them not making the show about He-Man. It's about Tila, one of the other
Girls?
characters. Yeah, one of the girls. And
So
so
it's
so people
She-Man.
are so
It's
people are
She-Man.
angry. I enjoy the drama. I like watching the media drama. People being all offended that He-Man might not be the center of attention on the new Netflix show. I think it's funny.
That's where nostalgia comes in, right? People are really set on
Yeah.
when they're talking about, and it's really interesting because there's people say I want it to be originally, especially when people got excited about the character or who followed the character, who bought all of the comic books and
Yep. All
the
the
toys and
toys,
everything.
all of the
Said that's not my interpretation of what this is, and so it's so interesting. Everybody's heels are dug in on the
yeah,
evolution and the
it's
change,
so fascinating. I love
right? Because it's like,
observing
well, wait,
fan
there's
culture because
right.
they get because I used to be in the very offended camp, and then I realized that I just like the idea of what I would have liked, and so I've learned to appreciate it for the past and what it was, and I've learned to accept that the newer versions of things like don't have to stand up to any standard that I have because it doesn't matter. It's not necessarily for me necessarily. Right. I'm free to like it or not like it. Mm-hmm. I usually don't, and it doesn't matter. There are bigger concerns over stories. I think, and so now
yeah.
I enjoy the drama behind it. Like I love hearing about all the Star Wars Lucasfilm drama behind the scenes, like with the ruining of the new Star Wars shit, and so now the latest rage with all of that is the Kevin Smith He-Man show. So that's that's been some fun drama. I've been checking up on that.
What's super interesting is I huge reader since I'm a little kid. And what I found as I got older, and what I love to read is no matter what level you're reading at, it's up to your interpretation of the words at that time in your life. So that's why I love reading, is my imagination would go crazy. And the more I read and the more I learned about words, it was just such an amazing, just like some people they grew up on TV and TV was amazing or movies were amazing. right? So books to me. And so what as I grew up and I'd see a movie made from a book that I'd read, could never satisfy. Or even I listen to music before I'll see a Broadway musical, will never satisfy because my imagination with the words is filling in the gaps because I'm
Mhm.
seeing the picture that the writer is writing. What's funny is, like I'll say, I listened to Phantom of the Opera. I thought the music was beautiful. It took forever for it to come to San Francisco. I saw it in San Francisco and I was like, eh. I mean, beautiful. The music was still beautiful, but the storyline behind it, I mean, the acting behind it, I was like, okay, was it worth $150 a ticket? Because that's what it cost. I'm like, better in my own mind. This is what's interesting. I would say that to people around me.
It's
Like, it
expensive
was
to do
great.
stuff.
It's expensive to do stuff, right?
It's.
But
I was looking
we're
at a
seeing the music,
show
right?
out here that I was wanting to go to, and I was like, "Oh damn!" It's like tickets like started like 200,
Right.
So yeah,
But
so
my
paying that for
thing,
Phantom of the
yeah.
Opera, I don't know.
But my thing is that that's kind of like a snarky comment to go, how rude, Rita, and how judgy Judgerson of you to say, when I heard that, dun 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 dun, dun and then all the music, listening to the album over and over, because it's just beautifully done, and I made in the with the words, I put the story together and how I visually thought it could be, and then I saw the play and went, it was beautiful, it was good, but it probably would be better if I saw it before I listened to it to see it all in real time. But that is just having the conversation. What's interesting about social media is somebody sees something and decides, I'm going to blast it on social media. Well, whether it's a He-Man or it's the interpretation of In the Heights, right? Lin-Manuel
Right?
Miranda does that
Yeah.
beautiful. I saw it. I thought it was great. And it was
He
like,
got in trouble for it not being diverse enough, which
well,
is
right. And
weird.
but that's, I feel like to me, that's a boomerang effect because the story's beautiful. It was beautiful when he came up with it years
Yeah,
ago for the
I
Broadway
heard
play,
good things
and
about the movie.
and it wasn't. It was the complaint was there wasn't enough representation of the Black Puerto Rican.
Mhm.
Some, but not enough. So, and that kind of diminishes the entire cast's role of it's just, and for me, it's like, it's never enough. It's like the fact that this entire production for millions of dollars was made so many years later was a beautiful thing because
Yep.
it's the movie was all about celebrating where they're from, who they are, and being part of America. Coming from Puerto Rico, being immigrants here, being part of America, and then singing and dancing beautifully. So it's like that. There's always going to be somebody who doesn't like something, which is our right to do. Is when we see art of any kind. The interesting thing in the old days, you just had your friends to snark with.
Right. And now people are
Or if
cutting
you were really
promos on the
offended,
internet.
you could write a letter to the editor and it would be in the newspaper, maybe. Now it's instant, all of this. And the weird thing, too, is this they talk about the psychology and then the actual physical, the dopamine hits, but the psychology of writing something horrendous to hurt somebody online, and then the hundreds of thousands of retweets and to pile on. And
Yeah.
that's where I've seen people who, and this is why it makes some parts of social media makes me crazy, is that people who I admired as whether they're an athlete, a writer, and a celebrity musician, and it's like I think, what kind of dark place are you in to write such a hideous thing about someone? Because
The it
because right, it's beyond me because that's something that in the old days, nostalgia back here, a handler would say, knock that crap off because this is going to ruin your career. Now we don't have that anymore. Now it's like, oh no, my career is now tied into, am I in the right tribe of people? Do I
yeah,
offend,
and it and I would just if I were wanting to play the corporate game of act,
mm-hmm,
the corporate industry entertainment game,
mm-hmm,
I would just get off of Twitter and social media.
right.
Like, because I know my
Yeah.
opinions and like kind of for the most part stay off of it because I've, the I don't think anybody really cares about my opinions, and it doesn't matter. And I don't know if you. I was always brought up to believe that you shouldn't be complaining about something unless you plan on bringing offering a solution to the table.
Well, right.
And
That,
so
but
don't just
it is
complain to complain and be mean to be
right.
mean.
Right.
Like, bring something to the table or shut up. And so it's just
Well,
so interesting
that's
because
yeah.
we should all take
Because it
social media fast.
right. Well, I think in the beginning of time, people got away with it because they were anonymous when they said something terrible. We were like, "Oh, how dare you!" But the transformation in the last 6 or 7 years, especially in the last 5 or 3 or 2, people proudly saying, and I mean, going after, they don't like a politician, going after the politician's kids, going after their politicians' drivers or their teachers. I mean, it's just, digging through just things that, or that like attacking young athletes coming up, that kind of stuff but I think that's what they term the virtue signaling, to say, I'm here to help the world by pointing out all the bad things. All just from my point of view, it's people don't realize how offensive they are in trying to tell people they're being offended. Instead of saying,
Yeah,
right, this might be the old person in me, but going, hey, that
and
wasn't really okay.
my thing is, and
right.
it's always been, if you're offended, so like I get
Isn't that
offended,
part of
and so
ding, ding,
what?
ding,
Like,
ding,
so
1776 America?
who cares if you're offended? Who
Right.
cares if I'm offended? Like, it doesn't matter.
How many things, Ryan, do you watch?
It's damn near impossible to go through your entire day without being offended for some random bullshit through, like, and most of it doesn't even matter. So trying to work out all of this offense that you feel you're owed, who cares? Sit with your being offended. Like,
or right, because I think that there's so many things, anybody that even slight offense, someone going,
I'm offended by
it's like,
the offense.
really? Okay, which seems funny, but people don't even realize what they say. They'll go, oh, you're pretty smart for a woman.
Well, I mean, it's true.
I read that thing you wrote. Thank you, Ryan. And you go, and I think I'm going, to me, it's like, I'm secure enough in myself to go, oh boy, good luck with the wrong person that you say that to. But also, I think, all right, that's a flag for me. And if this person is weird, but you hear that and go, all right, that you may have a certain view, but I don't dig into it. Or I also, like I said, it's a flag to go, maybe I don't want to work with someone like that.
Right.
Or women are too emotional, so that's why I don't like to work with them. It's like, well, thank you for that clue. But it's people say things and that you could go, but it's baby offense. It's like, again,
right.
but you just, those are indicators. This is how I go. It's like, oh, something's I see on TV that I think is over the top or offensive. I turn the channel. I don't watch it. Or I start watching a documentary that you can see is so one-sided. Who cares
if your feelings get hurt? Everybody's feelings get hurt at some point. Like, I mean, if you're, as long as you're not some sort of psychopath going out there trying to purposely hurt people's feelings, then I don't know.
Well, and that is the conundrum, because I think, and I'm sure it's being studied, but it's like that's where communication breaks down, because in a social society, kind of like the unspoken social rules, if you say something to me, I can say, hey, Ryan, you know what? That hurt my feelings. I just want to let you know that wasn't okay with me. 9 times out of 10, when you say that to somebody that you care about, or, your friends, they'll go, I had no idea that was offensive. Thank you for letting me know.
Right.
Okay.
You just have to say it. And then
that's what I call like normal people conversation.
Right.
Not holding on to it and waiting and get an anonymous account and then saying, Ryan is this, Ryan is that, not giving the situation, just calling you names,
Yeah.
and allegedly,
And
Ryan is something,
I
whatever,
like
something terrible.
dark humor, dirty comedy. So there's, an attack on that type of stuff. Like,
Well,
so
right. So it's
I'm a
an
fan of
yeah.
Joey Diaz and Sam Tripoli, and like I enjoy that
Right.
tie.
That, but the whole thing is that to go, it is that communication of, sure, people can inadvertently offend you. The way we teach them, kind of setting the stage to say, oh, you know what, you may not realize that is offensive to say, I'm surprised you're smart because you're a girl. Just say, just go, I just want to let you know that, it's not going to ruin my world, but that's a little offensive to measure my intellect based on my gender. Just saying.
Right.
I can make it, and if the person is a weenie, then I'm not going to pursue it. But then most people go like, I didn't mean it like that. I meant to say whatever they say.
Yeah.
The thing is that's, to me, how you handle when somebody says something is it offensive. Now it's, I can't tell you face to face or on the phone. I need to destroy you. And it's such a backwards thing to go, I have to destroy you to no benefit of the doubt. But so the method in which to communicate someone's offended is offensive. So that's the quagmires. Like that, the person doing it, they're thinking they're doing it for the greater good, but it's offensive. That's where part of my thing with social media is sometimes I'll get on Twitter just to look at stuff, and it's impossible not to see threads going through. A lot of times I won't even check and read and speak for 2 or 3 days. And all of a sudden the first thing I see is some really, really bad stuff. And
Yep.
to me, I think people who live on it all day, what I hope for them is come on the Rita and Ryan show. Talk to us about fun stuff.
Yep. Are you offended? Come on the show.
Ryan is so offensive.
I am.
We should give classes. Rita and Ryan show on how to feedback against
I'm
offensive.
much more offensive in real life.
But his hair looks good. I'm due for my hair, and this is how I'll end the show. So I get a haircut every 2 months, and I'm due for it. So this is my grown out hair. I was feeling like getting it really short, and I'm not going to do it now because Jenny talked me off the ledge. No, that's buzz cut. I don't think I would look not with a buzz cut.
Yeah, I
was thinking about something.
Do the Eliza Blue.
You're not going to keep. I thought you were going to keep growing it out into your ponytail man bun.
Oh yeah, I'm just keeping it. I don't know. Like I'll.
I still think you should grow the beard.
I don't know.
All right.
It's too much to keep track of. Like the hair is enough. One or the other. It's too much maintenance. And the beard's actually more maintenance, to be completely honest.
So in closing,
subscribe to the Rita and Ryan channel. Hit that like button and subscribe. Also, tell your friends to subscribe. If you want us to do more fun things faster, then spread the word, and it will encourage us to, i.e. me, to get on.
Were you trying to offend me right there?
No. I was just saying it will encourage me to move along and give me more pep to and
okay. Yes, audience. Let's encourage Ryan to make it sure it's worth it for him to launch his career from this show.
Oh no, not worth it. It's definitely worth it, but shift things around more. You know what I mean.
I know what you mean.
I'll put in later nights. It'll encourage me to put in later nights and longer hours.
You can work tonight because of the fireworks. But in closing, may we all say Happy America.
Happy birthday, America.
Happy birthday, America. Day after. Well, it's belated birthday.
Right. And don't forget to follow us with you on social media. Smallbusinesspodcast.org, trashcanconductor.com. Go there, and thanks for joining.
Check us out on Facebook.
Yes.
Did you say Facebook, Twitter, YouTube?
Yep.
We got all those now.
Rita, Ryan, Podcast.
Good night, everybody.
Bye bye.
See you next week.